Welcome to the ZeroInOnUnite podcast, where we keep the energy high and the molding low. All right, trainers, time to take a break from Duncan Aos and zero in with your host, Zero.
One, the only evil geniuses. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm chilling. I'm super excited to have you guys here. But in a nutshell, evil geniuses, go around the room. We could even start with Vin. I mean, introduce yourself. I want each member to go around and just give me like a 2-minute spiel of who you are, your time with Pokemon Unite.
Am I going first?
Yeah, go for it, Vin. It's all you. The floor is yours.
Well, obviously, my name is Vin. I am the jungler for Evil Geniuses. Started playing, I think, about 3 years ago. First started playing with Spino, went around to TTV, and then now Evil Geniuses. It's looking good.
I mean, you guys are looking absolutely good. Pika tell us. I mean, you're a legend, man. I remember watching you all the way back in like season 1 on IX Gaming. So, to have you here, it's pretty awesome.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Pika and I'm the sub for EG. I've been playing this game for 4 years and I'm still going strong. So,
all right. How about Ducky? Give us a little bit of your introduction.
What's up? I'm the defender for EG. Competitive wise, I mean, I started playing when I turned 16. I think it was like the middle of year 2, I'm pretty sure, or no. I don't remember, but I've kind of been around on a lot of teams. EG is probably like, I guess I'm hoping for just a long-term team. I feel like that'll bring me the most success. Instead of just team hopping for month.
Of course, right? You want to be able to find a place that is your home. But let's also put a little limelight on somebody who's kind of new to the competitive scene and has a lot of hype around them, at least in NA. Chris Smith, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm Chris Smith. I'm the top laner for Evil Geniuses. I've been playing since long. I guess I was 12 years old, and then I started playing in A competitive when I turned old enough, 16, and did decent there. And now I found a home with this new team, and I'm super excited and stoked for the org and everything.
Love it. And of course, I cannot leave for last a 2-time world champion over here. The myth, the man, the legend himself, Curios, the man who has just a million brain ideas, and I like lurking in his streams. How you doing, Curios?
Yeah, doing good. I'm Curios, attacker for Evil Geniuses. Started playing the game also from launch. Mostly had the privilege to be able to stick with one team. Started with called it Ascendance, and then we called it Blackhand, and Luminosity, probably most well known for past year, and then year 2 as well. And yeah, I think it's been fun. Kind of playing with a whole new team, a lot of different dynamics, and yeah, I'm learning a lot, and I hope the other guys are learning a lot as well. It's been great.
Awesome. I mean, I think the biggest question I have, at least, is how did this squad kind of form together? Because again, as we were kind of going around, you guys have either been in the game, you've been on multiple teams, we also have some rookies. So how did anybody could take the floor on this and anybody can put their input, but how did this team kind of come together? Was there anybody who actually initiated that conversation? Or because obviously we lost some members in NA, they've gone to other regions or they're retiring, and so how did this squad come together?
Yeah, I could take the lead on that, I guess. I think, well, first of all, I think the team now, Dignitas, was kind of set in stone even before the season really started. So everybody kind of knew that team was coming back together. So a lot of really strong NA players kind of were out of the picture to form a team with. And so, yeah, initially, the very first variation of the team was Celestial, me, Ducky, Pika as sub, and Roland obviously as support. And then over time we had some different changes. Kratos was actually supposed to play as well, and then personal things came up, and then kind of a lot of things got shifted around, and then this is kind of final variation we ended up with, just because I think like it seemed the best for the team as a whole. And yeah, obviously I think we've found a good synergy, and yeah, from there we're trying to just continue to get better.
Gotcha. And it's funny that you say that, because we actually had Kratos already on the show, and he kind of said the same thing, that like he wanted to more step away and he had personal things going on, but if something, you know, were to inspire him or something, he would come back and play. So it's interesting to know that that's kind of like where this team formed. And more so, how did Evil Genius, the esports organization, kind of get involved?
Yeah, I guess it's on me as well. Honestly.
I was like, this might be on you. Don't worry. I'll be passing. I have the next question I want to hear everybody's opinion on, but this one
for sure.
Because are you like team captain? Is that kind of how your also role in Evil Geniuses? Like, are you making the shot calls? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, there's like with the league being announced, where a lot of orgs were coming into the scene. Pretty much they just reached out to me on Twitter. We set up a call, and then we went through. I presented a deck that kind of showed all of our different achievements, what we've been able to do, a lot of different things that we think we could bring to the table. And I think Evil Geniuses was also contention for several different teams in North America. So we were very lucky that they chose us.
I mean, that's fantastic. And I love that more esports organizations are actually, wanting to be even a part of the league, which is always exciting. And again, being the captain of LG and now Evil Geniuses, like, that's a lot of pressure for one person to have on a team. But I mean, being that captain, how do you feel being put in that position? Or is it something that you're like, it just comes naturally?
I think my philosophy is that people should not force themselves to be something that they're not going to be like comfortable with, like something that they have a lot of history with. And for me, I think, even when I was kind of like in high school and in college, I think I'd had a lot of experience of doing well in kind of different classes of like, humanities, like writing essays and stuff like that. I always thought I was a relatively well-spoken person. And I think that's honestly a very, very important skill to have if you're going to try to be the leader of a team. It's not just being able to think and being able to be smart. It's more of like how fast and how efficiently do you communicate and make it clear for everyone as well. It's not just can you come up with the ideas, it's how well and quickly do you communicate it, and everybody's able to understand you perfectly and kind of have the trust in you that you're going to be able to make something happen. And I think I've just had probably less of like a just solo role on Luminosity. I think a lot of different people in Luminosity had their own ways of shot calling. I think Otter / Overlord, even Trainer as well, the newest member of the team. Everybody was pretty vocal, very strong-minded in their own kind of ways to approach the game. So it was not me like saying everything. I was of course a vocal person on the team, but everybody else had their own kind of ways to play the game, and I think there was success in that. And there's also kind of faults in that. And, sometimes, we found the flaws in some tournaments that we lost. And, of course, we were able to win a lot of different tournaments, and it's because everybody was creative and thinking about things. Now that I've kind of taken more of like a solo role of being able to be the main shot caller and being able to kind of form a lot of the ideas for the team. I think obviously there's been more pressure, been more stress. I'm definitely going to be open and honest about that. Right. But I think also that's challenging me to become even more of a better player, not just like how good I am at a macro level, but also like micro level as well. How well can I play myself while also trying to lead the team of a lot of younger players who are very, very mechanically talented. Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing I kind of want to touch a little bit better on, is that like, obviously this group does have some veterans, but you also have these rookies and younger. Has there been a struggle communicating with the younger talent than the, guys who kind of have already been in the game? Is there has there been like a learning curve working together? And everybody else is able to put in their input too. Guys are able to say like, hey man, Kyrios, you got lay it out now. Like, hey man, you got to motivate me better. You got to, maybe yell at me better. Like, anybody's allowed to chime in on this.
I can talk about it. So, so it's been like, I of course have the least experience compared to everyone else, so it's been like kind of just like this weird thing, like because usually I just spam ladder basically my whole life. And some smaller tournaments, like had some success in those with like some like pickup teams, whatever. But it's been weird like joining a team and like the whole environment and like communication thing is just totally different. So it's been like a little bit overwhelming to like get like used to everything. But I'm trying to, like as it goes on, become like more like like talk more and like share my ideas and become more comfortable as the more we play. So I'm definitely trying to get better at that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we see it, right? A lot of the times, especially when you're put in a new environment, it's hard to be able to communicate. But I say that it's been difficult, but you guys, we just had our first UCS weekend, and you guys just went 3-0. This is where I definitely want everybody to say their piece, regardless of how you I want to know from each person's perspective, how did you guys handle it, both mentally, emotionally, physically? And again, we're gonna have different perspectives because again, we have people who have played the game, who have been competitive. We have the rookies. So I kind of want to go around the room, maybe in the similar order that we started the show with, starting off with Vin. Just kind of tell me your experience going 3-0 for Evil Geniuses in that first week.
Well, I think our mentality was to take it one game at a time. Like, obviously, day one, we had LX and Nemesis. And no disrespect, but those games felt really easy. And it kind of gave us an ego going to day two against IX, where we really struggled. They beat us game one. We got destroyed at the Ray fight. And then game 2 and 3, we were behind in both games. But I make a big comeback to win both of them. Like, they were really underrated.
Right. Okay. I mean, Picadiff, I mean, give me your experience again. I know you're a sub or a reserve, but you're still part of the team. And again, Curious kind of touched on that everybody has their role to play.
So I got the opportunity to stream the games and then watch them as well. It feels good being 3-0 and starting off the season right, but obviously mistakes were made, and I expect better from everyone. So obviously we're gonna fix our mistake for next week and then be prepared for week 2.
Love it. Love it. Love seeing it. Ducky, your experiences, because again, like you can touch on that too, just kind of going into this with such a big organization of Evil Geniuses going into week 1.
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure to do well. I'm glad we went 3-0, and Vin touched on this, but especially against IX and even a game versus Nemesis / Extinction, we definitely struggled a bit. But although it would be nice to just 2-0 every team, I think I guess the thing I'm most proud of from week 1 is that we were able to bounce back. Like, I guess IX game 1, we did not draft very well. It was kind of frustrating to play into them that game. But after we slowed it down, we made adjustments in draft, and I feel like we played really well game 2 and 3 and closed out the set. So yeah.
Gotcha. I love hearing that though. And again, you don't want your ego to get ahead of you, because sometimes, like, I mean, you know, Vin talked about it, how like day 1, oh, it's easy, we're gonna cruise through. Day 2, okay, maybe we need to pump the brakes a little bit. And even Picadiff touched about it. It's like, hey, we made mistakes, we can't do that moving forward. Like, if we're gonna make mistakes, it's got to be in week 1, week 2 max. From there on out, we got to like get used to this rhythm, which, you know, Chris Smith, as we're moving on to you here, your experiences, I mean, again, you are the youngest roster member here, I'm assuming. And so like, this is a big change and shift for you. So I want to really know what your experiences were and just kind of having to adjust on the fly with those types of things.
Yeah. You know, when you've been like watching like monthlies for years,
right?
It's like really, like the feeling of actually like playing it felt really weird. I was really stressed, to be honest, but especially the first hit against Lunex. But the more we played, I felt more comfortable. Like, especially against Nemesis, I felt really good all those games. And then day 2 IX, I just really wanted to beat them because they stopped me from going to Worlds last year. So
So was there like give us the story? How did they stop you from going to Worlds next year? Because there are people who, again, the listeners we have, there are some people who have been in the game, but there's also other people who are like, who is this? So like, how did they stop you from going to Worlds last year?
I was on T Gang, and we did get the whole like cup, and we had to get top 4 qualified for Worlds, and then we were 1 game away, 1 match from qualifying, and we were against IX.
Right.
And then I had some unfortunate IRL situations where the match was not I couldn't really play the match basically, and so we couldn't qualify for Worlds, and that really bummed me out for a long time. It still does, to be honest, but I was really looking forward to playing them, and I'm happy to be able to win. But they did definitely surprise us. They played really good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to playing them again.
Right. I mean, V1 has excelled so much, and again, like you guys talked about, all that, like, you struggled with this, but again, I still want to get Curios's perspective of what was your perspective going into week 1. Was it similar to what like Vin described? Is IX Gaming a team that you guys are like looking out for? Kind of give me your rundown on that.
Yeah, I agree with Vin. I think like IX definitely plays different than the other teams. Their draft as well, like what they play, is pretty different. But also their players, just like overall, were very, very solid. I always thought like Lico, for example, their attacker, was their best player. But Breezy was very impressive as well. I think Breezy, who was the newest addition, right, to their top lane, and replaced him in a Scarf, also later played very, very well. It was like Mega Lucario had a very, dominating game as Mega Lucario, and kind of won their team the whole game. Yeah, it was very impressive, kind of what they were able to do. Their team was very solid, and yeah, I think like the first day was just I think there's pressure on me as well. Like, we all really want to win. Lunex, we knew their players. We really want to kind of just have a personal victory over them as well, and so we were very fired up, really wanting to win that game. And yeah, I think we prepared very hard for those Saturday matches, and we definitely did pretty well. And then just a little bit lack on preparation for IX and kind of responding to different picks, such as like their Darkrai, Shadowclaw, Darkpool spot lane. That was something that no other team was really playing except for maybe Dignitas. And so I'll probably say like Dignitas and IX were probably like the scariest teams to play right now in the league. And then the other teams maybe are a little bit step below. So I'll put IX maybe up there as well. And I'm honestly pretty excited to see Dignitas versus IX next week.
That's going to be hype. I'm excited to see that too. And as a quick reminder, we are streaming this live. If you're in the chat, again, if you're listening to this after the fact, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. But if you've ever decided to join the lives, which we announce it all the time, you guys are more than welcome to ask questions. Bring that up too, because again, this is the whole thing. It's about the community. Shameless plug again: Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. ZeroInOnUnite. You can find it anywhere. Enjoy it. But again, if you're on YouTube, you get to watch the video portion of that. Moving forward now, again, we've been kind of on this, and that's kind of the story around Evil Geniuses right now. You have this like hodgepodge of veterans, rookies. So with such strong pieces and players from past NA teams, with also the new generation, I mean, what makes Evil Genius work so well? What is the secret sauce that's more in the, not necessarily gameplay, but what's the secret sauce that Evil Genius has that makes this team go, yeah, we got this? Anybody's I was like, anybody's able to, I'm like, I feel like Curious, you not only are the captain of the team, you're also apparently the voice.
Yes, I guess he does all the talking.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could go ahead first. I think like something that we kind of brought up as well when we were talking of like the Evil Genius, like head of gaming, was that what he said was that he liked the fact that we had a good mix, as you said as well, right? The rookies and also like the more experienced players who have had a lot of different tournaments that they played at, internationals they played at. So I think that is a very good mix that we have going on. People who are more kind of just knowledgeable about the game, kind of takes it slow, kind of talks about what we should be doing, planning. I think Roland definitely falls pretty good in that category of just like maybe thinking more and being able to be the calming voice in a lot of situations. And obviously I think Ducky and Chris, the youngest players, bring a lot of talent to the table. Of course, I think their macro play and thinking about the game has been improving as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing kind of just how far they can go, how high their peaks can go as well. I think that just the mix has been going very well, and obviously I just think the players on this team have so much potential as well.
Yeah, I mean, this team, we saw it all, right? I mean, Pika Diff, I stopped by a couple of your streams to lurk and kind of see what Evil Geniuses was up to. But of course, just watching the talent that's available on these teams, you know, and I kind of wanted to go into some more individual questions per team member. And I feel like Pika Diff, I mean, you've qualified for Worlds year after year after year. I mean, that's impressive. I don't care who you are, being able to qualify for Worlds year after year is so amazing. So how do you feel being on this roster with this crew and knowing that you have that veteran talent in you, and how does that apply to Evil Geniuses?
I feel really grateful to be a part of this team and that they chose me to be as their sub. Obviously, qualifying for Worlds every year means a lot, but being part of this roster with his team means a lot more. Just because previous teams, I was like moving teams every month and stuff like that, but just having like one solid team for the whole entire season actually means a lot more to me. And actually, I truly believe this, that we have a lot of potential to go far. And even as a sub, like I'm willing to give everything I can to support the team and help us succeed however we can.
Right. I mean, that's the big key piece, right? So far, do you feel there's, you obviously got to stream the games, right? So do you feel there are some weaknesses that need to be like sealed? Is there anything that you verbally can say to kind of help approach for Evil Genius? Like, where are you at with that?
Obviously, mistakes were made, and obviously it's the first week, so obviously some players might have been nervous, but I'm glad that we're making all the mistakes now, so hopefully we could look at it and we could fix it and be better for the next week.
I want to move on this time to Ducky, because I feel like this has been your big major debut in competitive, where I think Evil Genius, whether it be because of the esports organization, because of that hodgepodge, but how does it feel to be one of those considered top defenders and being picked up by an esports organization like Evil Genius?
I mean, it means a lot. It's great to be a part of this organization and team. Although I've definitely like played for the last like 2-3 years, like in the online tournaments, like I'm definitely like, I'd consider myself a rookie for this, like the highest level of competition, like playing at international tournaments. And being sponsored definitely helps with that, traveling to these events. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to what this year has in store, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's obviously new. Like you said, being your rookie year, that's going to put a lot of pressure on anybody who wants to be on this. Again, with talking with the younger generation, Chris Smith, I mean, there's a lot of talk about you in North America. We see the posts that, like, you know, you're always like on the top rank ladder, and now you're obviously having to transition that into a more competitive scene. So, like, how do you feel you'll do? Do you feel pressured? Is there a sense of, well, I need to play differently? I mean, what is something you're striving for? Like, give me a little bit of all of that, knowing that this is your rookie season. And again, this is a big stage. It's not just a team, it's a esports organized, sponsored team.
Yeah, you know, I've definitely been like waiting a while to like finally compete, and it was like it all just felt like how like I didn't think I'd be picked up by like this big of a team, but then all of a sudden like people started asking me to like join their teams, and then I ended up here, and it was just like it still doesn't feel real, and I'm so grateful to be part of this team with people I've like looked up to for like years. But with that also brings like a decent amount of like pressure, like everyone's like watching me as like the rookie or whatever, and it's like I have to perform to like people's expectations or succeed them in. But yeah, regardless of it, I'm just so excited to actually playing on stage at LASC was one of the greatest opportunities, and I'm really looking forward to being there again at EUIC, and this time it will be a lot different.
I'm hoping the best for you, man. Vin, obviously you talked about it. You've dabbled competitively. You've jumped from team to team. I've seen many of your Brave Bird Talonflames being able to just secure things. It's been amazing to watch. Does this roster in general, because like, again, you've dabbled around, does this roster feel any different from what you've had in the past? If so, how?
Well, Number one thing is like, Kyrgios. He's just like, I think he's the most important member of their team. In my past teams, I always felt like I was in the lead, like what I say goes. And I will say about 70% of the time I was wrong. Like my macro calls were terrible. There were winning games that I threw away by myself, and I'm just glad to have someone that can, take charge and make the right calls.
Hey man, you know what? It takes a lot of guts to be able to say, hey, you know what? I was the problem, man. I was making calls that do not make sense. But again, with this roster, do you think it's just Kyrgios, or do you also think there's a lot of, when it comes to the team, the pieces that you guys have assembled?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Roland and Kyrgios, they have great comms, and then we also have the two rookies that have great mechanics, just filling the pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to feel like you guys are just Thanos trying to assemble the pieces all together, or the Avengers just trying to decide what side of the world you're on here. And right now, at least for North America, you guys are looking very, very favorable. And I mean, this kind of ends up with you, Kyrgios. Again, you are a two-time champion, and you guys have some powerhouses. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, every team wants to win on the grand stage, right? But what are other things that you aspire to do with this team?
Yeah, I think like something that probably went a little bit under the radar with like Luminosity, right? Pretty much the only other team I had a lot of experience with was that, we were good friends. I think the fact that we play a lot of different games together, we hung out a lot, we just talked about stuff. We had, we went to like events early just to like walk around and do things and just chill, I guess. I think that helps a lot. And I think that synergy of being able to just enjoy being around your teammates and kind of have more trust in them translates to stronger performance as a team, stronger just like trust and camaraderie with each other. And I think that's like a very important piece of it. So yeah, I think like that building of that with this new team, it's been a good experience and something I haven't really been able to do before. And so yeah, I'm going to look forward to being able to just have better and better friends on this team as well.
I love that. I mean, that's the thing, right? At the end of the day, and I've said this before, teams can do really well alone, right? You could have all the pieces that like you could say this player's great, this player's great, this player's great, and now you put it together and then sometimes they don't do well and you wonder what went wrong. And synergy is definitely a big key piece. Same thing with chemistry. So once again, going around, what was your guys' experience at LAIC? Because this is a very rushed, very like, okay, we're going on the stage. We are obviously, eyes are on us. There's some rookies. We have veteran players. Eyes are on us. So we obviously need to perform well. So this time, let's actually start with you, Kyrgios, and we'll go around. Give me your experience with LAIC.
I mean, obviously we fell very short of what we wanted to accomplish at LASC. Since then as well, I think Vin joining the team has been a very positive change, and I think that's why we're very excited for EYC to really try to prove to not just everyone else but ourselves that we're a team that can really make it big on the international stage. But yeah, LAIC was definitely it's tough because I think LAIC was probably maybe the second most important tournament in the year because, well, first of all, you qualify for the Asia Champions League, right?
Right.
And this time as well, the top three were qualifying for the Asia Champions League, not just top one of last year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it felt a lot more real for people, I would say. Like, it felt a lot more attainable for a lot of teams to be able to just, if you just reach top three, that's all we need to be able to qualify for this huge opportunity, like being able to attend maybe the second biggest event of the Pokemon Unite season the whole year in Japan, a country that everybody really wants to go to, right? And so, yeah, I think that loss of that opportunity, I think it definitely hurt a lot. And I think it definitely hurt especially more for the other players who weren't able to go to Japan in year two. Chris and Ducky kind of losing the opportunity. I felt pretty bad for them, honestly, as like kind of the leader and who was trying to like lead us to a kind of big win there at LASC. The fact that we, all of us fell short, including me, in the different matches that we played there, it hurt a lot. Yeah. And I want to do better for not just myself, but, for the two rookies that we have to be able to really give them an international win and kind of have that that experience, that kind of joy of being able to really be able to beat everyone is really unique, and I really want to have my teammates experience that as well.
Do you take that loss at LAIC as almost like a fuel to do better, knowing that maybe, hey, we need to take a look at this and say, this is the worst we're going to do this season, and now we need to catapult ourselves forward? Is there any motivation in that experience at LAIC moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody's a lot more fired up to be able to do better at the internationals. Kind of the different things we see on X, right? Like the post that Evil Genius's Pokemon account made. A lot of people's goals are to win worlds, right? And that kind of goal is something you always have to take one step at a time. Just like Vin said, one game at a time. Being able to have a grand goal of winning worlds, that's also one tournament at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time. It's always going to be a process. And so, yeah, I think using that motivation from losing at LEIC, it definitely has helped a lot of us really practice harder, think harder about the game, feel a lot more fire to win, and know that, with each kind of month that passes, each tournament that passes, it's only going to get closer and closer to Worlds, and there's not going to be that many more opportunities left. Maybe at LEIC we thought, oh, there's still 10 more months until Worlds. Well, now there's only 7 more months until Worlds.
It's going to
After UIC, there's only going to be 5 more months until Worlds, and you got to think about it like that. There's not going to be that much time left, even though there might seem like a lot of time.
Right. And again, I would love to go around the room. Is there anybody, but I feel like Kyrios just kind of was able to just say everything for the team. Like, does anybody else want to add to their experience of LAIC? I'd love to hear from both Ducky and Chris Smith, because again, this is the big stage. It's got to be different versus people like Pikadiff and Vin, who have had some experience on the grand stage.
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was just a really surreal experience to finally be there at an event. I've been watching them for so long, and it's just felt so weird to actually be there and then actually play, and being on stage was so cool to me. And then being able to look at the crowd and then do the interview after, it was all just a great experience. And then just being there with my team was just a great time. We'd go out to dinner or lunch together, and we'd be in the hotel lobby talking about drafts or whatever. It was such a cool experience. And then of course, when game day came, it was definitely not the results we wanted, and the after effect of that definitely hurt me at least a lot. And it just it was not fun, but it gave me a drive. Like what you said, I will not let this happen again. I'll keep improving myself and prove to everyone how strong we really are as a team, and me as an individual player.
Right. I mean, also there was that whole thing about being the cup being champion. There was so much stuff going around there, with the casters and just so many things. It had to be a new experience for you. But same thing goes for you, Ducky. Your experience now on the big stage.
Brazil, I guess in general, it was a really fun trip. Obviously, tournament wise, we fell short. And we're all bummed about that, but all we can do is set our eyes forward on the next international event and the different weeks in the league. But it was definitely cool to be able to meet my teammates and other people that I've been playing with for years, and meet the casters and all the people in the community. But yeah, it was just a super fun experience, and I'm looking forward to London for sure.
I mean, fantastic. I mean, to round things out, Vin, Pikadiff, you guys obviously have experience. Do you guys want to add anything extra that you would like to say of your experience at LAIC?
Well, obviously, I wasn't on the team at the time. I was on a team with JL, Flareon, Lumir, and I forgot who my tank was. Oh yeah, Joey. Joey's great though. Joey's great.
Oh, we love Joey and all those guys too.
Yeah, we were watching. We already qualified for day 2. We were watching EG play, and I'm not gonna lie, I told him already we were cheering for them to lose, and they did. I was really happy.
You were hate watching?
I was hate watching on the sidelines. I remember specifically, I was standing with Chris's mom, just watching on the sidelines.
God,
brother! What? No way!
Yeah, that was not the best.
She told me about that after.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Yeah.
So wait, right next to Chris's mom, you were just like cheering them to lose?
Well, no. I wasn't cheering like, publicly, but like deep down, I wanted them to lose because they were my ops at the time.
Right, at the time, and now you're all together.
Yeah, now we're together.
Me and Vin were enemies at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys have mended that at least a little bit going into being on the same team. But Pikachu, I mean, anything you would like to add?
So I didn't get the chance to go
Right.
to LAIC with the team, but even before the matches though, I messaged every single one of them individually, and I was also doing work with them as well, where like collecting data from other teams, from our opponents, of who they're playing against in groups. So I was still helping them out, even though I was not with them and was in Canada, and was trying my best to help them win their matches.
I mean, that's what you want to do, right? You still want to be able to support them, whether it be with emotional support,
100%.
mental. Mental's a big one in Pokemon Unite, which the mentality of Unite and competition can always add a lot. And I know we've been talking about, how does it feel this? How does it feel like because again, at the end of the day, we want to know you guys more on a personal level, right? There are people who right now are probably too young to compete, and they are just in the same way like Chris Smith is like, whoa, man, look at all these great guys. Again, I've openly said this, okay, before when we've had, when I had Overlord and Slash before, where I have been a fan of, at the time, when they were Ascended, Blackhand, staying up late to be able to watch that. Like, I'm openly was a fanboy at the time of those teams. So to see some of those pieces here and just, you have Curios here kind of leading the charge has been a big major factor. So I want to always be able to kind of get to know the players more on a personal level, because there are people who maybe do want to compete. We even here at the EX Frontier, we had a kind of like a secondary league going on here, so players can have that experience, to get their feet wet a little bit and understand that. That being said, though, and this is a question I definitely want to hear from everybody, and I'm going to save Curios for last because I feel like he's going to just take all the answers anyways, but this is the first season where we have a completely different UCS format. And so now essentially who you're going to be seeing week after week. How does that change your mentality, the way you approach things, and how on a personal level you're going to approach that? This time, again, I'm going to save Curious for last because I'm pretty sure he could answer everything himself. We'll start with Vin.
Well, to me, it doesn't really change much. Like, as long as you made it to top 8, the teams were relatively the same each tournament. Maybe like 1 or 2 difference from, the bottom tier teams. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan of the league format at the start because there was just one big tournament at the start of the year that determined everything, right? And so many teams were just, they didn't get to play, right? The TBC had promised us, maybe not promised, but they said they would include relegation, which I thought was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Right, but that just, never came to fruition.
That's a very unfortunate thing. But I like how you kind of just said, like, it doesn't change much, right? Like, I'm going to see these teams, and I'm gonna win, or at least I would hope that's where your mentality is, of like,
of course,
hey, we're going in, y'all going down. There's nothing else to say. I mean, Pikachu, I mean, what's your kind of take on this new UCS format? Again, you have been there from the beginning when there was no such thing as draft and teams looked very identical, to now obviously this format with draft, and obviously you're going to be seeing a lot of these teams over and over again.
I actually like this format a lot just because like it keeps the teams together rather than every month just switching 1 player, 2 player, or their whole entire roster.
Right.
And I also like how the format actually added Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to prepare for all 3 now, right? It's not you're just preparing for 1 map. All 3 maps are slightly different than one another. So the way you go to scrims, you have to practice differently depending on which map you're going to play on, and then obviously if you lose, you got to choose which map you want to play on against the opponents. So I actually like the format a lot better than previous years.
Yeah, I would think the biggest thing is like, I feel like not, especially if you're not like keen at like noticing details, like like the grass patches are different, the Pokemon that spawn are slightly different, there's different variations of these different maps, and you as a player have to adjust to that, because yeah, you might know, hey, this week it's gonna always start off with Kyogre, but now you have to be able to strategize if the losing team decides to go for Rayquaza, because not only is the map itself different, the objective at the end, at the last 2-minute mark in the final stretch, is also different. So you have to be able to apply that type of knowledge into your team composition. That being said, again, as with the same question, Ducky, I mean, what is your take on the UCS format as somebody who's a rookie looking at what you've seen before to now how the format is now?
Yeah, I've definitely played in a lot of monthly tournaments from the previous years, and I definitely say there's a lot of pros and cons to this league format, but overall it's definitely healthy for the scene.
Right.
In the region. I feel like the past couple of years, there's been, usually like a very strong LG team, a strong like TTV or an OJ team. But other than that, I feel like North America, like each month their teams would change, and it kind of prevents the teams from really sticking together and improving. And I feel like that really, in the past couple of years, like have shown at events. But yeah, I think it's really healthy for the region that, it kind of forces teams to stick together and improve. So come Worlds, I think it'll give North America the best shot to place well.
I mean, you know me. I'm sure rooting for NA every single time, every time that I possibly can. Chris Smith, same thing. You mentioned how you used to watch these teams. Now, obviously, you're part of some of those veteran players, but now you also are thrown into your first like real season, and now you have a completely different format. What's your take on it?
I think it's really nice to be able to like prepare for each team, like because I know each team you're playing each week, so it's really nice to like prepare for them like draft wise and like character wise, and yeah, I think it's just fun to like kind of boast like stories too, like against certain teams, and then like like what Ducky said, it prevents teams from breaking up, which will like in the long run it will probably be beneficial, and you can like see how every team like gets better. Throughout the year, like as you play them, because you have to play each team twice. So
right.
Yeah, I think overall good thing, and I think it definitely does build hype, and it is definitely fun to play.
Love it. And of course, team captain, best vocalist here. What is your take on the UCS League format? Because again, you're a 2-time world champion. You were on grand finals, and you've been there where there was no draft, no pick, no nothing, to doing a little bit of draft, and now there's 3 maps. How do you feel about the league format and just the way things that, how this league changes your perspective and how you perceive this new league?
Yeah, I think everybody's covered pretty good points. I think the multiple maps definitely allows more teams to be creative. I think also the fact that the same teams are in the league for the entire season gives you better practice at like preparing for different teams. Like throughout the monthlies in the previous years, you prepare for some of like the stronger teams for sure. But honestly, a lot of times when you're just like you have to play all the way through, day one, like all the way until top 8, and then you play those teams that you don't really know very well on day one. It's just like, oh, let's just play what we're good at. Let's just play our best. But this league format I think helps a lot in terms of like being able to have better practice at thinking about a team, breaking them down, kind of strategizing what you're supposed to do. So I think that helps, and that'll be better preparation for internationals. I also think the fact that like it's kind of more regular, kind of for monthlies it was just every single month, right? Also in some of the previous years it felt like monthlies didn't really matter,
right?
Just like in the grand scheme of things, to be able to qualify for Worlds, honestly a lot of the good amount of the years it was just like do well at regionals, that's it, nothing else matters,
right?
But here it's like, although it's going to be a little bit similar to some of those previous years where like your placement in the league, I think it only really helps you have good seeding for the final tournament. It still is really good to be able to do well in the league, just to have a good assessment of how well you're shaping up against the different teams, what your matchups are against the different teams that you end up facing in that final tournament. I think all these league matches are pretty important. And honestly, I felt like it was a lot more intense. I honestly think it was like a lot more there felt like there's a lot more stakes
Right.
when we were playing this past weekend, just because like you only play a couple matches.
Right.
In like the previous years when you had to play all the way to top 8, it felt more like a marathon, if that makes sense. Like you're just playing game after game after game after game. You're sitting there for like hours, especially if you lose and you go to losers bracket. You're sitting there for like the entire day, like
because now
8
you're
hours,
waiting for
9
teams
hours.
to like drop down and just. So would you say it's a lot more? I don't want to say relaxed, right? It's more like your time is utilized better because now you're not waiting around the whole day. You can actually have a life outside of like, well, I'm not going anywhere today.
Yeah, exactly. I think like it was more just like if you have to have those loser bracket runs, it's just like, let's just hope my team is playing good and we're not tilted. Like there's no like even good preparation, draft. Like there's nothing like that. Like when you go to losers bracket, you have no idea who you even play. And so I think there's like a lot. It was like a lot more. It didn't feel more of like a strategy or like kind of like macro based game. When you go to like long day one runs, it's just like, we just have to play our best. Like, let's just hope my teammates play good and we don't throw any games. But here it's like, you prepare hard for your first match on Saturday, you do well, and then you have a bit of a break as well where you do nothing, right? There's a bit of a break. You can just relax. You don't do much. You watch maybe their previous match against a different team, or you have time to prepare as well in between the matches. It feels a lot more like what it would feel like at Worlds or at International, right? At an International or Worlds, you're not grinding through a day one.
No.
You're preparing for different teams, right? So I think that this league format matches up a lot better to the International. So, yeah, overall it's good. I think Vin actually brought up a really good point too. The relegation, I think it should have been present, for every month. I think like every single kind of like month where the bottom teams do poorly, like the top teams from the qualifier, or maybe they play in, like they play in for the league as well.
Right.
Maybe it's like every month, maybe every 2 months or something like that. But yeah, there should be points in between where the teams who do the worst in the league should be kind of getting swapped out, I think, for some other hungry new teams that really want to prove themselves. I think that relegation would really incentivize people to play their best, especially the worst teams are like, oh, we're in danger we're about to lose our spot in the league, guys. Like, we got to lock in. We got to play really well this next week and prepare hard. And I think the competition will go up a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. Like, without that relegation, it's one of those things where, like, unfortunately, that's kind of where things fell at the wayside. And obviously, again, self-plug here, EX Frontier, that's why we created that secondary league, the Masters League, so pro players could still have a place to compete, to still not end their season, right? And again, it would also incentivize other teams to keep playing. It would incentivize them to grind, and more so, it would incentivize, or at least hopefully light a fire underneath those teams who are not playing so well to start playing well, or at least try to, again, it creates a fresh new squad, of course, to the league. It adds new breath of life there. But as we're ending this show, because again, I went a lot longer than I was intending to, but you guys obviously have a lot to say, and you guys, again, are a big representation of North America. That being said, then, so as we can quickly go through this, as we're going into these weeks, and obviously EUIC is on the horizon, for each member of Evil Genius, give me a team that you are hoping to face, or that you're excited, or, a team that you want to play against, or you're excited to play against, and maybe a goal that you have for EUIC, let's start with Vin, how the way we started the show.
Well, I'm not sure if this year the Asian teams are going, because I remember a couple years ago, the Asian teams did go.
Right.
But if they are going, I would definitely love to play Rejects. Overlord's new team.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, is there any reason Reject, or is it just because Overlord's on the team?
Just because Overlord. He's the best in the world. I want to play him.
Yeah, I mean, right? Because it's like, if you can beat the best in the world, are you not now the best in the world?
That's true.
Okay, Pika Diff, going into EUIC, a team you want to face, and or a goal that you have in mind.
Probably team I want to face. I don't know. Are the Asian teams going, or
at least to my understanding, I don't know. Curious, do you know that, or if anybody knows? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I
haven't heard anything. I feel like I would have heard some of the teams from Asia going.
Yeah.
probably maybe Peru because they're the world champs.
That's true. I mean, I like the mentality of like, I want to beat the best, right? And I think that's what you guys all kind of have. It's like, I want to be the best. Well, I got to go up against the best to prove that I am the best. Ducky, going into EUIC, again, you've already had some stage experience. So going into this, is there a team you want to face off against and maybe a goal you have in mind?
I mean, I feel like the goal is pretty obvious, still to win the whole tournament. But as far as teams I'd probably want to play, I think any of the top LATAM teams are pretty, I guess, like the top of my list. I think LATAM, like in general, like they play like very fast. They're all mechanically very good. And in scrims, I always enjoy playing them. It kind of, whoever has the best mechanics usually wins, and I think that's probably exciting to watch as well.
I mean, yeah, LATAM has really stepped up their game in just the way they've been playing. Obviously, you have Peru, who are the world champions, so moving forward, you want to be able to go up against these very fast, mechanically very savvy teams. Chris Smith, kind of the same thing. Is there a team at EUIC that you are looking forward to playing against?
I'd want to play Stamina. Anissa's team.
Wow.
I've known Anissa's probably like almost since the game's been out, and I really like playing against their team, and I'd love to like be able to play them like on stage. I think it'd be a really fun match.
All right, and Curious, to round things out to end the show, obviously the number one goal is to win EUIC. Is there anything you want to improve on? And of course, give us a team that you want to go up against.
Yeah, I think honestly a goal probably for a lot of teams is to be consistent. I think that's honestly what's lacking for a lot of teams right now, and that's why it feels like honestly a lot of teams could be called like, oh, they might be able to win, right? Peru, they lost at LAFC in round one at day 2. We lost. Dignitas had a very, very close set with Force Gaming, another team that's going to be like at ACL, and also will probably show up at EUIC, a very strong Brazilian team, right? So, just one game goes differently, one set goes differently, you could see a completely different champion. And so I think right now you could say a lot of teams are very close to each other. Any team could potentially beat each other. You never really know exactly what's going to happen. So I think a goal other than winning is to really just see the best Unite that we can play and play at a consistent level and be able to close out games that we have a very big lead in, being able to find our way in a comeback in games that we're behind in. I think that's very, very important to me, because obviously EUIC is not just a tournament that we want to win, but also proving grounds, training grounds to be able to perform well at NAIC at Worlds, right? So seeing just how well we can do the international stage is going to really be a big precursor to what Worlds is going to look like. So yeah, I want to see just like the best Unite we can possibly play. I think for teams that I'm really looking out for, obviously, I'd love to get revenge on Peru for the World Championship.
Yeah, I was about
last
to
year.
say, I'm like, is there
win.
some bad blood there that maybe, I mean, they obviously went on to win anything, but is there still some like, all right, I need the run back?
Probably not bad blood, but of course, would love to get the run back and be able to play them and be able to beat them. But yeah, other than Peru, I think also, I think some of the Brazilian teams are strong. Like, for example, Force Gaming, who took Dignitas to a game 5.
Right.
They obviously look very, very strong. Some of the best Brazilian players there. I also think BH3, probably their best European team, has some very strong players there. Also, for sure, it's very scary to play them because some of their players were from Komai last year, and they took us to a game 5 of semifinals at UIC last year. And I think being able to play them, see just how good they are once again, be able to maybe get some revenge for Vin, who felt at them at UIC last year as well. That would be a very good match to play against BH3.
I think that's what makes you guys so much fun. It's the hodgepodge of rookie, veteran. There's a big story to tell. And obviously, we're still at the beginning of the season. But of course, I want to wish you guys nothing but the best. Thank you for taking the time out of your guys' day to be on this little show. I greatly appreciate it. Vin, Picadiv, Chris Smith, Ducky, and of course, Kyrios. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, no,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
having
Thanks
me.
for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no,
it.
loved having you guys. It was nothing but a pleasure. But okay, that's it for today's episode of Zero In on Unite. Again, like I talked about before, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. Keep an eye on Evil Genius because they are a team to look out for here in North America. Until next time, keep playing, keep grinding, and of course, adios.